Are the unwritten rules of surfing being tossed aside?
I've never seen this many people in the water in my life. It's incredible. Look, no matter how far down you look, there's just hundreds of humans everywhere.
I'm Brad Jacobson. I chase the waves, the people who ride them, and tell the stories about these adventures. In the 1993 movie Fallen Down, Michael Douglas's character is an ordinary man whose frustration with various flaws he sees in society pushes him to psychotically and violently lash out. I'm beginning to see more and more of this characteristic across Southern California lineups. Surfers are frustrated with the growing crowds at their local spots, filled with new surfers who simply don't know the unwritten rules of surfing. Maybe surfing is changing. Anyone can take off on any wave they want. The ocean's free, right? Don't say this can't happen, because it's already happening. I see it daily. Is this the new norm, or can everyone follow a few simple rules?
Am I the only one around here who gives a shit about the rules?
Yeah, there's rules.
First rule of Fight Club is...
No. Not like that. Think of these surfing rules like driving rules. If they're not followed, people can get injured. They should be understood and obeyed by everyone. So what are these unwritten rules? Well, let me cover a couple of them with you now, and hopefully we can incorporate them into the lineup to maybe make things a little more civilized. I've seen a lot of surfers make some bad decisions while out in the water. Maybe it was on purpose, or maybe they just don't know. In the water, it's about safety and respect. We're all out here to have fun, not to get blasted by someone's board. Let's kick it off with paddling out. This seems pretty basic, right? Hop on your board and start paddling. Nope, this is where consideration for other surfers comes into play. If a surfer is riding a wave while you paddle out, take note on the direction that they're headed and paddle the other way. Unfortunately, this will almost always lead you to duck diving whitewater instead of easily paddling over the shoulder. You're unselfishly allowing that surfer to enjoy their wave without having to dodge you, or even worse, use you as a speed bump. There's also going to be times when you're paddling out that you'll want to paddle in the same direction as the surfer is headed because you're too far on the shoulder to attempt to redirect around them. Only do this when you're far enough out that you know you can make it before they get there. So paddle fast, and the worst thing that will happen to you is you're going to get sprayed. Time this wrong and you could find yourself face to face with some very sharp fins. There will even be times when you're paddling out and it's straight chaos. What do? Well, NASCAR drivers say when they see a car crash ahead of them, they aim for the crashing car because by the time they get to the car, it'll be gone. If this is your first time paddling out at a particular surf spot, do not paddle directly to the main peak. Surfers don't like crowds, and some of them may have been waiting for a long time for a wave. They may not be happy seeing you just stroll up looking to catch the next set wave. Find a little peak just off to the side. Back paddling. Just those words send shockwaves up many surfers' spines. Back paddling is basically when a surfer catches a wave, paddles back out behind the surfers directly back to the peak, cutting everyone off and catching the next wave. There's a basic rotation in most lineups. Catch a wave, paddle back out, and wait your turn. Some surf spots have random peaks everywhere, meaning that no two waves will peak in the same spot. Back paddling here is a little bit different. This is when the peak of a wave is headed towards one surfer, but a different surfer comes over, paddles around that surfer to catch the wave. You will not make friends doing either one of those. Moving on to actually catching the wave. Catching a wave seems pretty harmless, right? See a wave coming, spin, paddle, and go. This can be one of the most dangerous parts of surfing. It's very important to be aware of your surroundings. Always look over your shoulder towards the peak to be sure no one is paddling out. Don't get so narrowly focused on the incoming wave that you can't see someone with priority already paddling for the wave. What is priority and who has it? Well, here's the bare bones concept of priority. Who's ever closest to the peak of the wave and farthest out has priority. Basically, the only time it's okay for two people to take off at the same time is if one surfer is going left and the other is going right. Are there rare exceptions to this? Yes. I mentioned back paddling earlier. If you back paddle the wrong guy, they will burn you and go anyways, no matter who has priority. Respecting the locals is another. This is a bit more touchy, but you'll find this at most surf spots, and it's always been part of surfing. Does that make it right? I'm not here to discuss the morality of it in this episode, but give them the set waves. Chances are they'll respect that and share a set with you. Another example is if a surfer takes off too deep and has no chance of making it. This is more advanced because you need to have knowledge of that particular wave and the surfer's talent level. I've seen plenty of surfers make waves that don't look makeable, and the last thing you want to do is to drop in when they're making a crazy wave. Most surfers out of position will still paddle for a wave, hoping the surfer with priority will either miss the wave or fall off on the takeoff. This is okay, but be careful not to chandelier the wave. What is a chandelier? Yeah, it's a light fixture, but that's not what it is in the ocean. Chandeliering a wave is basically when you force a wave to break early. The weight and motion of you and your board can apply pressure to the top of the wave, making it crumble down on or in front of the surfer riding the wave, thereby turning what could have been a great wave into a closeout. And then there's the worst case scenario. You actually paddle too much and fall into the wave and on or near the surfer. This can be very dangerous, and while you probably didn't do it on purpose, you should paddle directly in and head home. The surfer you almost hit is more than likely seeing red and is now seeking vengeance. Burning someone is never good, but every surfer has done it. What to do when and if you find yourself in this position? Immediately get off the wave and out the back. Don't just fall. Bad things can happen when you just fall. Understand that if you do keep going, you may have a fiberglass missile headed your way. How to avoid getting dropped in on? And most surfers choose the sound check. A hoot or hey. When paddling out for a wave, will signal the other surfer to look back and see that you're already in position. The last one I'm going to cover for this episode is pretty simple to follow. Don't throw your board. It's just not worth it. It's fiberglass. Even the foam boards can do damage. Whenever safely possible, just try to hang on to that board. Learn to duck dive to get under the wave instead of just throwing your board. There could be people behind you, and that's not going to end well. If you must ditch your board, take a look around and make sure that no one is behind you. Following this rule will keep everybody much safer. Alright, thanks for watching this episode. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Yeah, I'm sure I missed a couple of these, but what do you think? You think that we can all follow these rules and make surfing a little more safer, a little more enjoyable? Or is surfing just changing? Thanks for watching. I'm Brad Jacobson, and I'll see you on the sand.